Hi everyone, I'm April, and you're watching the Tangled Cat Speaks. Take 2. I had already filmed it and edited, and then I went to download it to get it to upload, and my phone didn't have enough storage, so then I went and deleted stuff, and I accidentally deleted everything I originally recorded. So hopefully this works. So it's the new year. Let's hope for a better, brighter, happier year. I just had my 49th birthday on New Year's Eve, so yay, happy birthday to me. My cat decided to walk on some empty boxes and they all collapsed under her. She's fine. Okay, this is a day. So let's see, let's get started into the knitting. This is a knitting and crocheting podcast mostly. I do talk about a little bit of what I read and a little bit of what I watch as well. So let's talk about some knitting. Let's see. So the main thing that I want to talk about is a test knit that I mentioned I was doing for Marina Skua. It's her Boskular pullover, and let's see, I'm trying to find the back side and the front side. So this is what it looks like so far, and it's so pretty. Oh, I love it so much. And I am at the point where I should be adding some more color work at the bottom and then the ribbing. But I want to try it on first because right now I'm at where she says to start, but I want to check to make sure it's the length that I want, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to go a couple of inches longer because that's just my preference and my taste. So gosh, but it's so pretty. I love it so much. Oh, is that coming undone? Oh no, scared myself. So I'm happy with this, and again, this was Bijou Basin Ranch, 100% yak down in the sport weight. The natural cream and the natural brown were the colorways. So I worked mostly on that. I'm also going to put up a picture here of a giant scarf that I made as a commission. I don't do commissions almost never. My sister asked me to do this for her friend, and it's a giant scarf reminiscent of the infamous Lenny Kravitz scarf blanket thing that he was wearing in a picture that went viral a while back. She had really wanted one, and my sister asked if I would make that for her. So I did, and I've already given it to her, so that's why the picture. I don't have it here, but boy, it's heavy and it's warm. I definitely didn't make it to the same dimensions as the original. It was just a pattern that I kind of came up with and made some dimension guesstimates. And she's my height, which is about 5'3". I think she's a little shorter. So I didn't want to make it too oversized, or she would just be swimming in this thing. So that's what I ended up coming up with, and she really loved it. I gave it to her on December 30th. So that's what I was working on. And because I was working on both of those things, the Boskular and then this giant scarf. The giant scarf actually, even though it was chunky weight yarn, it was on size 15 needles. And I'm not used to that big of needles, so I was going slower, and my hand movements just seemed over exaggerated and very much not used to that size needle, so it was a little uncomfortable. Not in like a painful way or anything, but just definitely slower. So that took up all my time, and I didn't end up finishing my Advent knitting. And I will show that now. I'm about halfway done, and it's the Dusk poncho, and I think this is Rachel Brockman. I'm not sure, but I'll put all the information up here. And it's 2 panels that are going to be sewn together. So this is what I've got so far. Again, about halfway through the 18 colors that I was planning on using. And I was holding both of those, holding the fingering weight with some gray mohair. It's gray everything, gray sweater, gray background, gray mohair. So that's what I was doing, was holding that with all of the different Advent minis from Toad Hollow. And I think it looks really good. It's kind of blended the colors a little bit together. Oh, don't fall off the needle. Oh, it almost did. So that's what I've got so far, and I'm very excited about it, but I did have to put it to the side so that I can get those things done, because I kind of had some deadlines with those. So that's why I didn't finish. That's fine. I'm in no rush. So I got that, and then let's see. That scarf was really the only whip that I got done in December. Well, there was some scarves and hats that I had made. And I'm not sure if I showed them. I don't know if they were in November. I don't know. I don't have any pictures of those. Just some, a couple of, I think I did 3 infinity scarves and a DK weight hat. And those were all for my kids for Christmas. But they've already all been given. And then that was early December, late November. Then I started on the Boskular, and then I started on that giant scarf. So that's really all I had done. The infinity scarf and the DK hat went by super quick. The infinity scarves were all crochet, and it was just seed stitch knit flat, and then I sewed end to end to make infinity scarves. And then the DK hat, I held 2 strands of fingering weight together to make a DK weight, and I did the On the Sea Train hat by Espace Tricot, and it's using this yarn. This is a Blue Moon Fiber Arts yarn. I had 150 grams of it. It was one giant skein. This is what I have left. This is about 70 grams. And what I'm going to do with this is, I have a little bit of cat fluff on it. I'm going to make some fingerless mitts for my daughter. I'm going to use the Ribblings pattern. I'm not sure. I think it's a free pattern, but I'm not positive. And I think that takes about 45-50 grams, so I should have plenty with this. So I want to get those started because Denise from Earth Tones Girl and Mars from Hey Brown Berry are both doing a knit along or make along for making mitts and gloves, and I believe that starts next week, maybe a little after. So I'm super excited. I want to start these for my daughter. They should go super quick. So very excited about that. I really love this color. It's, like I said, it's Blue Moon Fiber Arts, and this is Colossal Sock, and it's called Ravenscroft. That's the colorway, and it's just got some pretty greens and teals in there, along with some charcoal gray, and it's super pretty. Very exciting. So that's going to be one of my new cast-ons for this year. And then I've got another new cast-on that I want to do, and this will probably be more closer to the end of the month, I'm thinking. But Kate from Hawthorne Craft Cottage is doing a make-along, and it's to do with knitting from pattern books that you have in your home library and things that you buy because you love them, and then you didn't end up knitting anything from it. So her challenge is to have you go through those and knit something from them. So I found this book in my library, Knits, Scarves and Hats by Mademoiselle Sophie. And there's several different patterns in here. Most of them, well, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of them are chunky weight, bulky weight. And let's see, there's some hats and fingerless mitts and scarves, shawlettes, all kinds of things. And I have decided to go with a bulky weight scarf. I'm trying to find it. I've had this book for a few months now. I don't have a whole lot of pattern books, but okay. There it is. I found it. And I'm going to try to be careful and show you what's on here because I don't want to give the pattern away. So this is what I'm going to make. And it's simple and elegant. And I'm going to be using these 3 yarns that my friend Jen, hi Jen, her husband had gone to South America a few years ago for a business trip, and this is what he happened to bring these back for me. So they came just like this, already caked up, no labels. So I don't know, I'm assuming it's 100% wool. I don't know what type of wool. It's soft. It's got I don't know if you could see it, there's a halo to it, and it looks like it's spun with several different colors. Like it's not just solid red, there's like some white or maybe some light gray in there. But there's no label. I don't know the yardage, I don't know the weight, and I'm just gonna hope that this is enough to make that scarf. Ah! And I dropped them. It's never an April podcast if I don't drop something. And there's the top of my head. So that's what I want to do next. So super excited about that, you know, to go through your books and find something that, you know, you probably thought was great however long ago when you bought the book, but you never knitted it. I got fluff. And then to finally get to it. So that's cool. Super, super excited about that. That's some new things that I want to cast on. I cast this next project on, so I guess this is my current whip besides the Advent and the Boskular. And this is just something I just on a whim. I have a boatload of lace weight yarn over there in my stash. I don't know why I bought so much lace weight. I don't knit with it. It's intimidating for me to knit with something that thin. It feels like it's going to take forever to finish something. So I just kind of look at how pretty it is and then back away slowly from it. So I decided to get these 3 skeins out of my stash. And these are all Knit Picks Chroma lace weight. This is called Fog Bank. This is just called Gray. Now this is a solid, this is a long color run ombre, I guess, and as well as this one. And this one is called Sugar Cookie. Now this one is got all kinds of colors in it. Pinks, purples, greens, blues, grays. And I'm holding all 3 of these together. And I decided to just come up with my own knitting pattern for a shawl. I started off with just a regular traditional triangle with the center spine, knit top down with a garter tab and stockinette. And then at some point I decided to add a couple extra corners, so I added in another set of increases here, and I've got another set of increases on the other side as well. So it's not going to be a triangle anymore. I think it's going to be kind of like a half of a star, maybe. I'm not really sure. I just was like, I'm bored, let's switch it up, and I decided to add a couple extra corners. So we'll see how that turns out. But I'm really loving what it's doing, holding these 3 colors together. You can see the gray all through the solid, and then you can see where it kind of gets like here is the same green, but you can see where that second color, that Fog Bank, kind of went from a lighter gray to a darker gray, and it made it just slightly, ever so slightly darker. I'm really loving how it's turning out. I'm into some of the blue now, And then I think it's going to go back to green and then to the pink and purples again. But I'm just loving how the three colors are marling together. Very soft and very subtle. And what I want to do at some point, if I ever decide to start buying yarn again, sorry, my nose is itchy from all the fluff now. I want to get three more Chroma lace weights, but in 3 very, very different colorways, and to see how those marl together. I want to see if it's going to end up kind of funky or if it's going to be more soft and blendy because of it. I don't know. It's just something I would like to experiment with someday, but it's just going to be in the back of my mind for a while because I'm not going to buy any yarn for a bit. But that's what I've been working on. So that's my other whip. That's really all I've got. I have 10 or 11 whips that I had started in 2020. I've got those all on a list to work on sometime throughout this year. I've got also another list of new things that I want to cast on. This one and this one are on that list, but for the rest of the year, I've got 12 things that I want to start. And then I might add some more things. You know me, I don't ever have any real hard and fast rules. My daughter's looking at me. Hi, say hi, Santana. So those are the things that I'm working on for knitting. I have my daily planner for 2021 all set up with my to-dos and my hopes and my wants and my dreams and whatever. But you know, I don't ever stick to any real hard and fast rules, and we'll see how it goes. So, but it's nice to have, you know, a plan. Even if I don't stick 100% to it, it's nice to have a guideline, somewhere to a starting point, you know, and go from there. So I'm super excited about that. What else? That's about it for knitting right now. That's of any real significance. I am still reading The Historian. I got that much left, which is about 65 pages. This is The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. So good. So good. I've been taking this one really slow. I just read a sad chapter earlier, so I had to put it in timeout because I was like, I can't even look at you right now. You broke my heart. So I just got that little bit left to go. Kind of don't want it to end. I liked it, so I've been liking it so much that I bought another book by her. I think it's called The Shadowland. So I have that. I don't know if I'm going to start that one right away or something else, but I was very excited because I really like how this one is turning out. Let's see, what else did I read? I finished Mexican Gothic. I was on audio, and I think that was what is her name? I don't remember her name, but I'll put it up here. Sylvia Moreno Garcia, I believe is her name. And you know me, I do like a good Gothic mystery story, and this one is set in Mexico. Very interesting, a little bit dark and twisted, but I really enjoyed that. So that was a good one. And I listened to that in about 2 days. I just sat and knit and just kept listening to it, and I was like, oh, it's so good. So I finished that. I mentioned that I have been reading a lot of the Star Wars canon books, you know, a lot of the stories that are in between the movies, so to speak. So let's see, I believe before I talked about reading The Queen's Shadow and The Queen's Peril. Those were focused on Queen Amidala. Kind of a young adult flair to it, I guess. They were really good. I liked them. Not my favorite, but they were good. Then I read Dark Disciple. That one focused on a character from Clone Wars called Asajj Ventress, who was basically a bad guy kind of character, but she was very interesting. And I was glad to find that there was a book that kind of delved into her story. So that one was really cool. And then I just finished Labyrinth of Evil. It's the first of a trilogy, the Dark Lord trilogy. So this trilogy is going to focus all around Anakin Skywalker and his turn to Darth Vader. So I just read Labyrinth of Evil, which was the first of that trilogy, and the next one that I'm about to start is Revenge of the Sith, which is basically the novelization of the movie Revenge of the Sith. So that's going to be cool. I've seen that movie dozens of times, and it's going to be interesting to see what the book adds to it, as I know the novelizations will add a little bit that isn't in the movies. So that's going to be interesting. I'm really liking how they're dealing with Anakin's turn to the dark side. And then after that will be The Rise of Darth Vader is the last in that trilogy. And they're all in one big book. It's an ebook that I found. I was actually looking for just Revenge of the Sith because that was the next thing that I had thought, and then I found out that there was this trilogy that has the before and after from Revenge of the Sith. So that was kind of cool, but it's one big giant over 1,000 pages ebook, which is I was really glad to find because it fleshes things out a little bit more, and I'm very happy about that. Let's see. Oh, and I caught up on a series by Cleo Coyle. It's a coffee house mysteries. Those were also in audio. It was A Shot in the Dark, and then the other one was Brood Awakening. So I finished those. I've had a lot of knitting time, so I went through audiobooks like crazy. So those were really cool. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. As soon as I finish The Historian, I'm not sure where I'm going to go from after that, because what I've been doing is I've got an ebook, an audiobook, and a physical book all going at the same time. So let's see. Oh, and I read Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith. That was really cool. So the next audio that I have is The Archive of the Forgotten. It's really, really interesting because it's basically a librarian in hell who has, in the first one, it was, she was in the unwritten section of the library. Very, very interesting. So I'm not sure where this one's going to go. The second one, it's the Archive of the Forgotten. But very fun books. Really enjoyed those. I enjoyed the first one. I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy the next one. I don't know if there's going to be more after that, but very exciting. So that's going to be my next audio. The trilogies for the Star Wars Dark Lord trilogy for Darth Vader is going to take me a bit. Those are e-books, but my next physical book I haven't decided yet. And let's see what I've been watching. I've been watching The Stand with my daughter, which is really cool. We're really enjoying it. I've read the book. My daughter hasn't. So I find that I'm kind of having to explain, because the way that they've done the show is they kind of jump back and forth between past, present, and future kind of thing. And there's not a whole lot of explanation. It feels like the way it seemed, I understand it because I read the books, but my daughter's sometimes kind of lost. So I'm not really telling her a whole lot of what's going on, just that this is the future. This was the past. We're back in the past again. We're back in the present, that kind of thing. So, other than that, I really like the show, and she's enjoying it for her part of it. So we've been watching that. I started watching The Expanse, sci-fi show on Amazon. There's 5 seasons. I'm very behind. I'm only 3 episodes into the first season, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Having a good time with that. And then, of course, I had to watch The Mandalorian, and wow. Wow, I just love that show. Just wow. I can't wait for season 3. Um, yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. That's what I've been doing. That's been my December and now the beginning of January. Um, I also have been watching a podcast called the Cozy Moth Knits. She's super sweet, and she had mentioned that she was very thankful in a way um, for COVID happening, because it was because of that and having to spend more time at home that she was able to start doing her own podcast. It made me think, yeah, even though 2020 was a little dark and a little lot a bit of unhappy, there can still be some good to be had out of it. For my part, one of the things that I can say was a good thing was being able to spend more time with my kids. And also, even though I lost my Aggie last summer, I was introduced to some new pets. I've got 2 new cats and 2 new birds, and those were definitely bright spots in last year. So, now that we're starting a new year, I hope that all of us can find bright spots in last year and carry those things over into this year, and find some hope, find some joy, find some happiness, and move forward, and kind of let some of that negative stuff go as much as we can. Obviously, things aren't going to change immediately in general in life, but take some of the happier things with you and carry those, and know that there's a better tomorrow can be had. So that's what I wish for you. I do want to thank you all for coming to spend a little bit of time with me. If you're new, welcome. You're more than welcome to continue coming here. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already done so. I will go ahead and let you go. I will see you all next time in February, and have a good month. Have a good rest of your day. And we'll see you again. Bye.